Hey everybody, Dallas again with Chaos Fragrances. Today we're back with another fragrance video. This time we're going to be talking about my top 7 Creed fragrances that I believe every collector should own. So love them or hate them, Creed is a very popular niche fragrance house and they've got a ton of fragrances in their lineup. So for anyone who may be wanting to get into the house of Creed, it may be a little bit intimidating to start. And I also believe that everyone should own a handful of Creed fragrances if you're serious about collecting. And again, we're talking about niche fragrances here. But I would say that if you looked at most people's fragrance collection, they're bound to own a few Creeds in there, right? It's just, they're great fragrances, they're easy to wear, they can be picked up for really good prices online. Of course, retail is extremely expensive, but on the gray market, they can be had for a lot of times around the $150 range per 4-ounce bottle. Of course, the prices is going up because the 4-ounce bottles are discontinued, but at the time when I was picking up most of mine, I was getting a lot of them for around the $150 range, sometimes less, sometimes more, and we're talking about the 120 ml here. So as long as you know where to look and you're smart about your shopping, you can find them for a pretty good price. So today I'm going to be covering 7 of them, what I think every collector should own in terms of Creed fragrances. Before we jump into the video, make sure if you're new here to go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. Also turn on post notifications and like the video. That way you're notified of when I upload new videos. And at the end of the day, it helps me out, helps the channel. And I'm trying to put out as much content as I can. So that's all I ask for in return from you is to hit the subscribe button. And I know I did a video talking about my top 10 favorite Creeds, which you can go watch that if you're curious about that topic. But I'm trying to narrow it down here a little bit. That video did have some fragrances that were a little bit harder to find and some more expensive ones in there. So this, my top 7 Creed fragrances I think every collector should have. These are all obtainable and all relatively affordable, again, if you know where to look. So enough talking, let's go and dive into this. Starting off at number 7 here, we have Virgin Island Water. So I'm putting this one at number 7 just because out of all the ones in this list, this one is probably going to be the least versatile. So that's something that is going to be pretty important if you're only looking to pick up a handful of Creeds. You're typically going to want something that you can wear pretty often. Now, of course, that may not be the case for everyone. At the end of the day, you need to sample all of these, which I will have links to samples of all these fragrances below in the description. But you do need to try them and you do need to decide for yourself which ones you like. If you end up liking Virgin Island Water, I would say, hey, go ahead and get it. Even if it's not the most versatile one out there, it still is a great scent and realistically, you can wear it anytime you want. But when we are talking about what this fragrance is actually suited for me personally, it's a summer fragrance and that's about it. And more specifically, summer casual, maybe evening wear, going to a dinner or something like that a little bit if you're in the appropriate setting. But I would say for the most part, summer casual scent right here, Virgin Island Water. It's a nice tropical coconut lime scent. It really just smells like you're sitting on the beach, just enjoying the nice weather with a nice cocktail or something. Great smelling scent. Again, at number 7 because it's not very versatile at all, at least in my opinion. Of course, you can wear it any time of year. For me personally, though, I stick to summer for this one. But in my opinion, it is one that I think everyone should check out and potentially purchase for their collection because it is a great smelling scent. It is unique and, performs pretty good for being a Creed. So, number 7, Virgin Island Water. Coming in at number 6 here, we have Royal Oud. So a little bit of a different choice here. We kind of went from one extreme to the other. We went from a very nice summer fragrance to a little bit more of a dark and cooler weather fragrance here. Royal Oud, this one is based on cedarwood. So actually not based on oud, even though it is in the title of the scent. There's not a whole lot of oud in this scent. In fact, there's hardly any at all. So for anyone who may be afraid of oud and you don't want to try it and you're kind of, you don't think you're going to like it, or if you've tried oud and you don't like it and you know that for sure, don't turn this fragrance up just yet. I would still go ahead and try it because to be completely honest with you, not a lot of oud in this scent. This one really goes in more of the focus on cedarwood and some spices. Really nice, classic, mature scent, and it's one that is kind of different from Creed. Normally they're focusing on light, fresh fragrances, a lot of them being unisex, but this one is marketed, I believe, for men, and it is definitely a masculine scent, and it is really nice, really good stuff here. Coming in at number 6, Royal Oud, perfect for fall, perfect for winter, perfect for a really dressed up situation. If you're someone who is higher up in a business and you wear, a nice suit and tie to work every day or, something like that, and you want to smell of authority, definitely check this one out. That scent's going to do great for you. Whereas with some of the other ones in this list that are more light and citrus heavy, they're not really going to represent you that well. Number 5 here, we have Creed Irolfa. So now we're kind of back on track with what Creed is known for, and that is creating their fresh, citrusy fragrances, and this one is no exception. I've talked about this one a lot on my channel. This is one of my personal favorite creeds, and it is a little bit lower in this list, and the reason why is just because I don't think it's going to be necessarily for everyone. I personally do love the scent because I love my citrus fragrances. I love the nice ambergris creed DNA that's in here. There is another fragrance that's a little bit higher up in this list that I think more people overall are going to enjoy more than this one, but I'm still including this in the video because, again, I think it's one everyone should check out. Irolfa smells incredible, and honestly, if there's one fragrance that takes me to like a nice vacation and just kind of out on the water, it would be this one right here. This stuff, incredible smelling. You'll hear a lot of people say it smells like the salty ocean air or just like the nice ocean breeze or something like that, which I completely agree. Really does smell like that. Really transports you to the beach, to the ocean, just out on the water, and it's a really nice one. Again, this may not be everyone's favorite here, and this one is a little bit more under the radar. Not many people talk about this one, but in my opinion, it's one of their personal best. So coming at number 6, Irolfa. Coming in at number 4, we have Viking. So this is one that was pretty controversial when it first came out. From the beginning, I loved Viking. Even when it was getting a lot of hate, I actually blind bought this bottle because I got a really good deal on it. Even when it was relatively new, I ended up picking up this bottle for it's like 148 bucks or something like that for this 100 ml, and it was a little bit more full than what it is now. So really a steal at that price. And again, that's what I'm talking about. If you know where to look and you know kind of what you're doing and what to look for, you can pick these up for a steal. And I got this one on one of the Facebook groups, by the way, before people ask. But Viking, this one got a lot of hate. The main reason being is because people were comparing it to Aventus. I mean, even if you look at the bottle, you can tell what they were kind of modeling it after, right? They were going for Aventus with this like wrap around here and, just this right here and everything. It is kind of modeled after Aventus. And being that this was the next men's fragrance released after Aventus, which was released in 2010, so Creed really took their time releasing another men's fragrance, but being that this was released after Aventus, people were really, really expecting something that was just completely different. And at the end of the day, this scent really isn't something that is completely different, right? A lot of people say it kind of smells like Old Spice, which it does. It does kind of have that type of feel to it, but in my personal opinion, it's a lot better than Old Spice. And really, it's kind of an unfair comparison. It does kind of have that type of feel to it, but really this scent really smells amazing, and it's one that now that I've spent a lot of time with it, I've come to really enjoy a lot. This one does have a lot of depth to it, nice spicy minty touch. Really at the end of the day here, this one kind of checks all the boxes in terms of like my criteria on what I look for, which is really just having respectable performance, smelling good, smelling of high quality, and being very versatile. Those are typically the 4 things that I look for when it comes to whether or not I think a fragrance is good. Of course, smell being the main one, right? But this one does do everything else right as well. And because of that, it's one of my personal favorites. This one is very versatile and can be picked up for a pretty good price now that it's been out for a while. And it's one that I think everyone should look into. Definitely Creed Viking here, really good one. Kind of similar to Royal Oud in the fact that it is a little bit more mature and just kind of more dressy and upscale smelling. This one kind of smells like, an older CEO of like a company, like someone who's been in the game for a long time, is very high up and, just kind of a more mature guy. This is really what this scent smells like. And honestly, it makes me feel like, a mature rich guy when I wear this fragrance, which at the end of the day, that's not bad. So coming in at number, 4, this one's Viking. Coming in at number 3 here, we have Millesime Imperial. So earlier when I was speaking about Irolfa and I said that there is another fragrance that kind of is similar to it, but more people are going to like, I was talking about this one right here, Millesime Imperial. This one is way more popular than Irolfa. There are a lot of clones that have been made off of Irolfa. There's Sean John Unforgivable. There's Lucky, or what is it? Not Lucky You. It's Love and Luck by Ed Hardy. That's what it is. There's a lot of interpretations of this fragrance. And there's, of course, Rush of Unicorns by Parfums Vintage, which targets the older batches of this. So this scent DNA has been around the block, and I do get that. But I still ended up putting this one high up on the list because when I really thought about it, who doesn't own Millesime Imperial? I mean, who doesn't? Again, of course, I'm talking just generally here on people who own niche fragrances and own a few creeds. 9 times out of 10, I feel like Millesime Imperial is going to be in there, whether you like it or not. It's such a nice, light, refreshing, aquatic fragrance. It smells fantastic, and it's one of the cheaper creeds that you can pick up just overall. I mean, for the longest time, 120 ml testers, so this bottle size, was going for like just over $100. I think probably around, I guess, 130, 140 bucks for the longest time. Again, it's probably, prices have gone up now because the 120 mil is discontinued. But I mean, you know, when you compare it at the retail price of over $400, being able to pick up the biggest bottle they have for, you know, that mid 100 range is a pretty good deal. And again, hate on them or not, that's not a bad price when you're talking about a niche fragrance, right? For this much fragrance, that's a lot. You know, there's some Xerjoffs out there which cost, you know, more than that for a 50 mil. There's, of course, Roja Parfums. You know, I would say Creed really is in that pretty affordable price range for niche fragrances. Again, retail price, of course not, but on the gray market, they're pretty easy to get. Coming in at number 2 here, we have Silver Mountain Water. So this is one of my personal favorites, and this is one that I've loved for a long time, and I've been wearing a lot this summer. I love the tea note in this fragrance. It's kind of what really put me onto that note in perfumery, and it smells incredible in here. There's black currant as well, mixing with some bergamot and some nice musk in the dry down. Overall, I would say this fragrance is amazing. It's, in my opinion, it's perfect. It's about what I look for. Again, pretty much checks off all the boxes I was talking about earlier with Viking. Smells fantastic, and it's one of my personal favorites, and it's one that I think pretty much everyone should check out. You know, this one is at number 2 for a reason. You know, if you're only wanting to pick out a handful of Creeds or just even 1 or 2, I would definitely say this one has to make the list. So finally here at number 1, you guys probably already knew what it was going to be, but that one is, of course, Aventus. You know, and I really thought, should I put Aventus at number 1? You know, hate on Aventus or not, it is a great fragrance. It's really paved the way in terms of, you know, men's fragrances. A lot of fragrances have copied off of this one, and, you know, why else would they do it? Because the scent sells, it smells great, people love it. At the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. People see that and they want to make their own version of it. So Aventus, probably one of the most cloned fragrances out there. It probably is the most cloned fragrance out there, to be honest with you. But, you know, it still is a fantastic scent on its own. And you may be thinking, well, if it's so popular, then why are you including this one in the list? Well, again, when you look at people's collections, if they own 1 or 2 Creeds, chances are one of them is going to be Aventus. Maybe people who only own 1 Creed, it's probably going to be Aventus, right? Aventus is pretty much in everyone's collection, and it's one that is in there for a good reason. You may love the scent, you may hate the scent. For me personally, it works fantastic on my skin, and it's one that really blew me away when I first smelled it. And I can still remember getting a carded sample of it and spraying it and just experiencing it for the first time because, again, I fell into the hype. You know, people were talking about it everywhere. At the time, I couldn't afford a bottle, so I got just a carded sample from Notino back when they were still around. And, you know, when I first tried it, I'm like, wow, that is really, really different. That's really, really cool. You know, I really fell in love with the scent. It just smelled so woody, so mature. It really just kind of took me out into the woods. You know, just smelled like I was in the woods with a bunch of green leaves and plants all around me, and just very masculine, very mature, and it's just something that really kind of clicked with me. I really loved it right off the first sniff. I would still recommend you grab a sample of this one first because some people may not like it, and it does kind of have the reputation of smelling very sharp and strong up close. So what I would recommend for you is, if you're going to be trying it, spray it on your hand and waft it to you, or spray it on someone else and just walk behind them or just smell the sillage off of them. Like I said, for me personally, when I tested it out, I sprayed it on paper, and I set that paper down by an open window, and the breeze coming in is when I caught whiffs of it, and that's pretty much when I fell in love with them. Like, holy crap, that smells great, that smells different, that just smells incredible. So enough talking about Aventus here, boys. That's number 1. Highly recommend you check this one out. If you want something that performs amazing, smells great, gets you good compliments, gotta check it out. Again, it's my number 1 favorite, and it's one that if you want to own 1 Creed, this is the one I'd go for. So guys, that's pretty much it for this video. That is the 7 Creed fragrances I think every collector should own. Let me know down in the comments which ones you would pick, and also let me know if you want to see me do this type of video for another fragrance house, designer or niche, doesn't matter. Just let me know. I was thinking of maybe doing Mancera next, and then some other designer houses. So let me know down below. That's going to do it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss when I post. That's it for me, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.